and welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott.
And I'm Michael Ayala.
And we are turning now to the Doomsday cult mom murder trial. Now, we continued to hear really heartbreaking, awful testimony about the cause of death of the two children who were allegedly killed by their own mother, Vallow Daybell.
Now, up to this point, we didn't know how the kids were killed. So finding out their cause of death was certainly a shock. And we talked about it, how it affected us. It really affected me. It was revealed through the testimony of Dr. Garth Warren. So let's take a listen.
Doctor, were you involved in the autopsy of Joshua Jackson Vallow?
Yes.
Okay. If it's okay with you, I'm going to refer to him as JJ from here on out. When were you involved in that autopsy?
On June 11, 2020.
And where did that take place?
That took place at the Ada County Morgue.
Was this the first time you had ever seen JJ Vallow?
Yes.
And approximately how long did that autopsy last?
It took approximately 4 hours.
Okay. And did you write a report summarizing your findings for that autopsy?
I did.
Based on that particular autopsy and based upon your education, training, and experience, have you formed an expert opinion concerning the cause of death of JJ Vallow?
I have.
What was that?
I determined the cause of death to be asphyxia by plastic bag over the head and duct tape covering the mouth. And then there's another segment that's other significant conditions. I put bound with duct tape, bruising of the arms, and abrasion to the neck. But ultimately, the cause of death was asphyxia by plastic bag over the head and duct tape over the mouth. There's fairly extensive skin slippage throughout the body, including partial degloving or skin falling off of the hands and the feet. And that was essentially what I found. I also found some injuries that jumped out. One injury was a scratch. There were abrasions. It appeared to be scratch-like abrasions on the left side of the neck. And angle.
Doctor, if I can ask you, why was that significant to you?
That was significant to me in a case like this, considering the way he was found. If there's any kind of injuries to the neck, it's a red flag. Do I know exactly what it means? No, but I think some of the things that come to mind are, was JJ trying to get the bag off his head? And could they be scratch marks trying to get the bag off of his head? I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what happened, but those are the types of things that go through my head.
Doctor, were you involved in an autopsy of Tylee Ryan?
Yes.
When did that take place?
It started on the same day as JJ's case. After we finished JJ's case on June 11, 2020, we took a very short break and then we started Tylee's case.
Okay. And was that then also at the Ada County Coroner's Office?
Yes.
How did that autopsy commence? What did you first observe?
So this autopsy was different. The vast majority of the times when I perform an autopsy, I get an entire body, and there's a process that we went through, like with JJ, that I go through. Tylee's case was different. It was received by me Tylee's remains were received in 3 separate sealed bags. One of the bags, or 2 of the bags, were black body bags, and the third was a large brown paper bag that was sealed, and within that contained 5 other paper bags within it. So I received Tylee's remains in multiple different bags.
Okay. How long did that autopsy last?
That autopsy lasted, it was much longer because of the process of sifting through the remains, trying to identify bones, soft tissue, multiple x-rays, cleaning the bones, getting them ready for anthropology. It took on the order of several days, but probably about a week.
All right, we're going to take you live to Boise at the top of the hour, of course, for the latest of what's going on inside that courtroom. So you'll keep it right here on Court TV. But first, let's bring in our guest, criminal defense attorney Jeffrey Wolf is still with us. And Jeffrey, you heard some of that testimony. It was devastating yesterday to find out exactly how JJ died, and it sort of confirmed your worst fears about this whole thing. Again, his mom is sitting in the courtroom. She's got weird faces going on. She's wearing zebra pants. I mean, when you put all those things together, I mean, you know, this is the type of testimony that I think is powerful. And even though it doesn't tell you who did it, although there were some prints on there from Alex, you definitely walk away from listening to that wanting to convict someone of something.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, it's literally take your child to work day. My daughter's sitting in the other room right now, and it's so hard to hear testimony like that as a parent. And you know, a lot of jurors are parents, and when you hear that kind of thing happening to a young man and a young woman so early in their life, and no matter really when it happens, but especially at such a young age, and you hear the brutality, and you know, that forensic pathologist is correct. The scrapes on the neck were probably him trying to get the bag off. He was alive. He knew what was happening to him. And it's very dark. It's very sad. And it has an effect on a jury. It's the kind of thing that means somebody's not going home, because those kids are never coming home. And juries are affected by that stuff all the time. It is very rare to see a case with as young a victims and such an emotional thing and any sort of connection to a person sitting in the courtroom and see that person go home. And that's why, is exactly what you said, Michael. Somebody's going down for this, and she's sitting right in front of them. So I don't envy her attorneys.
I almost think it's harder too with Tylee, because we heard testimony. The medical examiner doesn't know what killed her. She can say it's homicide, but we know that her body was burned. We know that it was dismembered. We really don't know how she was killed. And so then you don't know if she suffered or not. I mean, there's no good about any of this, but just the thought that these poor children went through this and trying to, you know, for JJ to be trying to get that off of his head. And I still can't fathom, and I know we could talk about it, you know, all day long, and we won't have an answer, but it is so hard for me. And let me ask you, Jeffrey, because you did say, well, it could be mental health. Even with mental health issues, it's really, really hard for me to imagine how a parent has consistently not reacted in devastation, hearing the details about what happened to her children.
Well, I mean, it's easy for us to say that. We're not dealing with severe mental health issues, number one. And number two, didn't we just get done talking about how Alex Murdaugh was play acting for the jury, right? The emotions people show in a courtroom are affected by any number of things. And, you know, it's clear that there's something wrong with you if you can do these sort of things to your children. There's very rarely a case with severe brutality or, you know, mass murder or any of these types of cases that really garner headlines where somebody's sane. This is just not something a sane person does. There's a reason that the law is written in a way that gets people like this off the street if we catch them. It's because there's something wrong, and it's really hard to fix that. Really, really hard to fix that. Doesn't mean it's impossible. Medical technology and the mental health treatment is so much better nowadays. It would be a lot better if we funded it as seriously as we fund other things that affect the safety of our communities. But it is entirely possible that she is just nowhere in that head. Nowhere. No cognition of what they're talking about.
And I know we're going to need to take a break, and I agree with you. Mental health issues are so significant all over the world, all over our nation. We need more services, so I'm not at all downplaying that. But what's interesting to me is her demeanor has remained consistent before the case, during the case, at all times, inside of the courtroom, outside of the courtroom, and they are not raising any type of mental health defense. Let's be clear, it's alibi. All right, I know we need to go to a break.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think she's just a true believer. And if you believe it's mental illness, when you believe in something as crazy as what they believed in, then maybe it's mental illness. But she told her sister they're in a better place. She told her son, you'll understand the truth later on. All those times, not really grieving for her children, believing that she did something good for them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, coming up next, you're going to remember the case of Brian Walsh. He's the man charged in the disappearance and murder of his wife.
Today, he was back in court as the prosecution revealed more details about what happened leading up to the murder. We'll have those details next. Keep it here on Court TV.
An otherworldly mystery.
Linda believes people in government were alien reptilian creatures.
She fell for a con man and his lies, but did she have anything to do with the murder of his ex-wife?
This is nothing but a game to him.
It was a flawless plan. If it wasn't flawless, you would have solved the murder by now.
I think every person is capable, under the right conditions, of murder.
Someone They Knew with Tamron Hall. Tonight, 7/6 Central.
Only on Court TV.
Welcome back. Earlier this year, Brian Walsh was arrested and charged in the disappearance and murder of his wife, Anna. Now, this morning, he was in a Massachusetts courtroom to face arraignment. Now, he pleaded not guilty.
And Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson takes a look back at the case.
No comment from Brian Walsh after he was charged with the murder of his wife, Anna Walsh, the missing Massachusetts mother of 3 young boys. And while he's not talking, prosecutors are piecing together a timeline of what they say he was doing in the days after her disappearance. Prosecutors say that Anna Walsh was last seen here at her Cohasset home on New Year's Day. Anna was last seen at home between 4 and 5 a.m. by a family member. Walsh told police that he had slept in that morning, but prosecutors say that he was actually awake and searching disturbing topics on his son's iPad.
At 4:55 a.m. on January 1st, he searched how long before a body starts to smell.
The very next day, more Google searches.
There were also more Google searches on January 2nd. At 12:45 p.m., Pat saw best tool to dismember. At 1:10 p.m., can you be charged with murder without a body? At 1:14 p.m., can you identify a body with broken teeth?
Prosecutors say that on January 2nd, Walsh came here to this Home Depot store, located in Rockland, Massachusetts, 9 miles from his house. He spent $450 on cleaning supplies.
Items included cleaning products, mops, brushes.
On January 3rd, prosecutors say Walsh drove to an apartment complex in Abington, 16 miles from his home.